Hey team, I hope you all are doing well wherever you are in the world. Today's topic, I wanted to go over some long run tips and tricks that will help you succeed regardless if you're training for the 2 mile or you're training for the 5K or the marathon distance. I also wanted to make this video because I do get often asked questions about the types of long runs these athletes should be doing in order to perform well. You still can get great results by staying just consistent and running long, slow distance runs on during your weekends. But that being said, when it comes to racing, again, we have to make sure that we improve our body's lactate tolerance. Okay, we want to be able to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up. And we already know, if you've been watching my videos long enough, you know that running aerobically, yes, it will build your endurance. But in terms of racing and to be able to manage higher amounts of lactic acid buildup, you have to run at faster paces, and most athletes know this. But that being said, I don't think enough of us spend enough sufficient time training well below our goal race pace. And over the years, it took me time to like I said, I didn't just run under 2 hours and 20 minutes for the marathon overnight. In fact, there were a lot of times over the years I felt that the marathon distance wasn't my event. It wasn't my best event. I felt like I had better, I was more of a middle distance runner and rather than a long distance runner, and it took several years to get to the point where I could run 2:19:35. And in terms of long run tips and tricks, the most important recommendation I can provide to you, whether you're training for running a marathon in under 4 hours, or you're trying to run a half marathon under 2 hours, or maybe trying to break a 35-minute 10K, is you have to run faster during your long runs, but not every single weekend. Okay, the strategy that I used, and I didn't start using this tactic until 2007, when I became a member, a conditional member, because at the time in 2007 I was basically brought in as a conditional athlete that had the potential to get an Olympic trials standard in the marathon, but didn't have that at the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program. So it took me from the start of 2007 pretty much until December of 2007 to run 2:19:35 for the distance. I came in with a 2:43:36 for the marathon distance, so I wasn't qualified to be a part of that unit. But that being said, I had run 51 minutes for 10 miles, which showed the potential. So look at your previous performances and really look at how you've been training. Have you been running slow, easy long runs on your weekends? Or have you really focused on training at a mixture of 5K race pace, 10K race pace, half marathon race pace, and even mile race pace in the middle of your long runs? Those are the types of workouts you really need to be thinking about, introducing into your long run, and not just running easy and relaxed every single weekend. Again, you're going to build a great deal of endurance doing that. But at the same time, if you want to take your racing to the next level and you really want to start dropping substantial time off of your half marathon time, your 10-mile time, your marathon time, doing a variation of very, very hard or anaerobic portions of your long run, followed by relaxed, easy paces, followed by paces at your anaerobic threshold. So again, around 88% of your maximum heart rate. And then running portions of that long run, like I've done in the past. I would do prior to running 2:19 for the marathon. I remember doing a 20 miler where every 5th mile I would run a sub 4:55 mile right in the middle of the long run. Just drop. Once I got to the 5th mile, I'd go 4:55. Once I got to the 10th mile, 4:55, and then get right back into 6:30 pace. Then run 6:30 pace for a few miles. Then run 5:35 mile pace for a few miles, then drop another 4:55. So, and again, what I want you to keep in mind when you're training and preparing for your races and with these long runs is it takes time. It takes roughly 3 to 4 weeks for your body to physiologically adapt to these types of workouts. So your long run may not be more than 6 to 7 miles at the very beginning of your buildup. But what you want to do is gradually work that long run, get that long run out to around 20 to 23 miles if you're a half marathoner or a marathoner, You know, if you're training for, say, the mile or the 5K, a long run of anywhere from 8 to 12 miles is sufficient. It's, again, what you're putting into your weekly training is what counts the most. But never run hard every single weekend, or try to run fast during your long runs every single weekend. Make sure, in terms of long run tips and tricks, make sure that you are really focusing on hydration. Okay, this is a major mistake that far too many of us, myself included, in the earlier stages of my career, I would think running, you know, I would focus on running, trying to run as fast as I could in the race, but I wasn't taking in enough fluid, and I wasn't taking in any gels during that race. Okay, you can get away with that if you're running a 5K or maybe even a 10K, but don't think for 1 minute that you're going to succeed in a half marathon or a marathon by not taking in any fluid and not taking gels. You know, those gels packets give you anywhere from 100 to 150 calories every time, immediately into your bloodstream when you take those. So when you're racing, you know, again, running a fast time isn't just about doing long runs and being consistent on your long runs. That's just one part of the process. You have to watch your pacing. You have to watch how fast you're going out, so you don't go into oxygen debt, and you be conservative in the early stages of your race, especially if it's a longer race. You have more time to make some mistakes. If it's a shorter race like the 5K, don't try to make your move in a 5K until you hit that first mile. Then attack after you get past the first mile. Hold back, and then really focus on running as fast as you possibly can. Make that 5K race a 2.1 mile race rather than a 3.1 mile race. Again, if you just make some slight adjustments in your not only in your training but also in your racing, you're going to be much more successful over any distance. And in terms of the long run, especially these types of very paced long runs that I talk about, this is definitely a different tactic that a lot of athletes don't use, and the ones that do start to use them see significant results, because again, maybe they're like me, like from 2002 when I first started running marathons until 2007. From those first 5 years, I never ran varied paced long runs. I would always run long, slow, and easy on my long runs, but I would really focus. I would do the speed workouts, I would do tempo runs, but it was always long, slow, easy, 6:30 to 7 minute mile pace on my long runs. But I never tried doing long runs where I would run a mixture of, you know, sub 6 minute mile pace, sub 5:30 mile pace, and even doing a sub 5 minute mile in the middle of during a long run. Those types of tactics, that slight change of preparation, helped me go from running 2:43.36 down to 2:19.35. And again, it was a lot of other things too. Again, the long run and how you prepare is just one way of getting to the next level. You know, obviously I wanted it badly. There's a huge component of mental strength and determination and drive and focus for what you're doing. If you're just lukewarm about this and you're not giving 100%, then you're going to get less than 100% results. So obviously I wanted to succeed, and I know that you do too. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be watching this video. You know, success in middle to long distance running is about consistent action over a long period of time, not a matter of, you know, it's not just an easy path. There's a lot of ebbs and flows along the way, and you have to get past that. You have to expect the fact that you're going to be tested mentally and physically in training. You're going to have times where you doubt yourself. You're going to have bad workouts. You're going to have bad races, and it's the most consistent, persistent athlete that gets the greatest results in the end. It's the athlete that changes up how they prepare. Maybe you in the past you've worked your tail off and you just aren't getting results. Then look at how you've been setting up your training. You know, yes, you've been working hard, but have you been working smart? Have you been really using leverage to get better results? You know, have you focused so much of your attention on running high mileage and still not getting the results you want? Well, if that's the case, you need to start focusing on less mileage, but more zeroed in focus on training at or far below your goal race pace. Again, higher volume isn't the answer all the time. So I hope this video is helpful for you in terms of just thinking about what you really need to be doing in terms of your long run, and hearing from somebody that that went from like a 2:43 marathon time down to 2:19:35. Okay, yes, you have to work on your speed, you have to work on your mental rehearsal and really train your mind to get what you want. But it's, at the end of the day, it's about consistent action and making sure you're recovering well, making sure you're staying, in terms of your mental and emotional stress, keeping that low, filling your mind with the right information, positive information, things that are going to help keep you motivated and help keep you accountable to get out the door every single day. And I hope this video is helpful for you. I hope the videos that I create really keep you focused and motivated and positive about what you're doing. And I definitely know if you change up your long run tactic, if you start mixing up your paces in your long runs, and you're not running hard every single weekend but every other weekend, you're going to get some big results. You're going to start seeing some huge PRs. And again, I have resources, I have training plans, I have running personal coaching if you want to work with me one-on-one. I have running courses available for marathoners, half marathoners as well, if that's something that you're interested in. And if you want more information about that, check out the information below this video in the description.